when you've obviously seen the ups and downs in the market, and now you're at a point where again travel is disrupted, business itself is disrupted, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like any of the earlier kind of calamities, right?
Yeah.
And there's a question mark on how travel will look in the future, at least in the near future. So, were there any learnings from like your earlier cycles that you're kind of using now?
Yes. So I think that way you can say we've been a bit lucky to be unlucky in the past, right? If you've gone through, that kind of pain before, you know that. So there are two things that every crisis teaches you. That number one is that you need to act decisively and swiftly uh, before it hits you, right? If you can see it coming. And we did that back in 2008 when we actually did that town hall, and everybody agreed to sort of work at half their salaries for almost a year. I think 9 months at least, right? And
Yeah,
and in return we gave them ESOPs, and those guys actually in Series A, those guys actually also saw liquidity. Some of those guys later on started their own companies. So, uh, but the learning was that, look, if we'd not swiftly told the team what we were going through, we would not solve the problem together, right? So I think that
right,
instead of sitting on the problem and just being anxious about it as founders and losing your sleep over it, I think the moment you share it and your team also feels it's their problem, it also helps some of the burden shift to everybody else to help find a solution.
right,
And also it sends a signal, like you might come out as vulnerable in front of your team, but later on if they realize that it's not something of your doing, they're not going to put the blame on you, right? They're going to say the situation was averse, and you know uh, people were transparent, so we should help. And we've seen this time and again, right? So even in this particular crisis, our immediate reaction was that we need to tell the team that, look, if we have zero revenue, this is how long we'll last, right? And therefore, what do we do to bring down our cost to last longer? And the team was fairly supportive again, and we managed to at least so far, ride the tide and continue our journey. And we expect that as the market opens up, things will look better. The second thing is that what do you do in terms of uh, rewarding that team is also extremely critical, right? Because if the team comes and shares your pain, you also need to make sure they get upside. So in all our crises, we have actually given more ESOP to team members who stick around, and we've seen that very very small percentage actually leave during your difficult times, and then you realize that some of those are not people you would want on your team any which ways for the long term if they can't survive one blow. So I think it also teaches you to um, identify who your most loyal and supportive folks are, and double down on them, right? Essentially, make sure that those people are well incentivized for the long run.